Howdy everyone, how are you this Tuesday? Today we're going to talk about how to begin to create change, but we're going to take a look at how to identify what you want to change. My name is Bess McCarty. I am founder and coach with the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers, making network marketing simple. So I'm glad you're here because perhaps you are ready for change, right? Everybody wants some change in their life. So today we're going to show how to do that with my 4 steps real conversation, and how to have the change that you want in the quickest, easiest, most painless way that I know. So hello Tanya, welcome. Okay, so the 4 steps of real conversation. This is a process that I developed years ago, about 20 or more years ago, in my observations of how I, as a therapist, worked myself from problem to solution, and how I worked with my students and clients, getting them from problem to solution real fast, real quick, so that it even beat years of psychotherapy that some people came to me and said, wow, I got farther along with you in one session than I did 3 years of weekly psychotherapy sessions. Believe me, that's how fast it can work, because it goes real direct and goes right to the need and how to meet that need. So it's that simple. Hey Kelly, welcome. Glad to see everybody. If you're watching the replay, I'd love if you type in replay. And if you'd like to share with me where you're from, I know Kelly's from Houston. A little hot down there right now, huh? So I'd love to know where you're from so that I can welcome you from there. And I'm going to post a link afterwards so that you can learn this stuff too. But you may want to grab a pen and paper, because there's some cool stuff that you may want to catch coming out of you and write down. Oops, just lost my notes. 1 second. This is a chart that I want to show you in a little bit, so that's what flew off my lap. So, making change in your life. What do you want to change? The 4 steps to doing this are: identify the problem or what you want to change. That's what this step is today about. And second, identify the feeling or emotion underneath that. And third, the need underneath that. That's often the hidden part that we have to kind of be a detective and get to. And then the 4th step is to meet the solution, to meet that unmet need in a healthy way. So these are the 4 simple steps that I sort of observed, that I went through, and that my students and clients went through on their way from getting from problem to solution. And it's real simple, because you may have heard this, but every problem is a sign of an unmet need. So all we have to do is identify that need and meet it in a healthy way, and then the problem or the challenge goes away. But first, the trick to doing that in the beginning is to have compassion for ourselves to begin this journey. In other words, we may hide the problem from ourselves if we feel ashamed or guilty or self-critical, or say, oh, I shouldn't have that problem. You know, I procrastinate. If you were a network marketer making calls, it could be, well, I'm not a procrastinator. I don't have any trouble making my calls. I don't have fear of rejection. I can start my calls any day, right? I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start making those calls tomorrow. I don't have a problem. So we may hide the problem from ourselves if we don't know that there's a solution, or if we get down on ourselves and are self-critical about that. So love if you guys type in your favorite emoji, just so I know that you're there. And it kind of gives me some company. Or if you type in where you're from, or just a hello, so that's wonderful too. So in order to identify what we want to change, often we might need to first take a pre-step and accept ourselves and have compassion for ourselves, and give ourselves permission to make mistakes, have problems, and to improve. We can, like I spoke last week all about that on last week's Facebook Live, it may come from being criticized, told that we don't have needs when maybe our parents' needs weren't okay, so you don't need that. You don't need attention. No, you're not hungry. stop being angry. Stop hitting your brother. You're not angry. Or you're not sad. Or don't cry. You're a big boy. Don't cry. So we disconnect from our feelings and needs because they're not okay. They get us in trouble and they get us shamed or criticized or lose our parents' love. So we learn to turn off our feelings and needs. And that's sad because those are really the message of something needed underneath. Those feelings and needs are really, and the problems too, are really a red light on our dashboard, like the red light in the dashboard of our car saying, oh, you need oil or gas. So that's not bad, right? That problem is really a red light. So we want to be able to accept and have compassion for the problem. When we do that, then we can make change. So my goal with all of this is to help you to coach yourself, and if you're network marketing, your team members, or if you're a parent, even your children, through challenges to get from the problem to the success. Now in network marketing, the problem might look like burnout, fear, doubt, procrastination, stress about money or time or family needs. And we want to overcome these or solve these. Listen to these needs, these call for help that these really are, so that you can have love and joy and freedom and fulfillment and fun in your life. So we instead of trying to shut those off, my strategy is to give an ear to them, to actually lend an ear and pay attention and say, this is a part of myself speaking about something that I need. Does that make sense? Can anybody relate to that? I'd love to hear that if you can. So, problems, we can embrace them because all problems really lead to personal growth, right? And all mistakes do too. So that's why a lot of people, Robert Kiyosaki said, well, if I learn the most from mistakes, let me make a lot of them so I can learn and grow and get better. So too, all problems are an opportunity to grow and learn. All problems are a sign of an unmet need, a need waiting to be met. And so when we can listen to that, the sooner that we can listen to that and the better that we can listen to it and know how to meet the needs, the sooner that we can get to all the good stuff. So what are the changes that you would like to make? This is where you can grab a paper and pen, because I'm going to ask you some questions that may help you. So with compassion and acceptance for wherever you are and the changes that you want to make, what changes do you want in your life? What would you like to be different? And I'll give you a moment just to jot these down, as my questions might bring up something for you. Or you can watch the replay. What's your greatest challenge? What's tough in your life? What's an obstacle or a problem that you would like to master, to overcome, to solve? What would make your life more wonderful? Ever think of that? What's missing? What's your biggest goal? What obstacles can you identify? What weaknesses in your personality? What liabilities do you have? Remember that every problem has a solution, or it wouldn't be there. Life gives us these so that we can develop our creativity and our personal growth muscle. So there is a solution to every problem. I guarantee that. And this method helps you to get to it. It's important to solve these problems because a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So that's why I'm asking you, what's your greatest obstacle, weakness, liability, your greatest challenge, the toughest part of your life? This chart, I'm going to put, I developed this chart called Real Conversations. going to put a link in the comments so you can get a chart too. And it goes the 4 steps of Real Conversations, from problem to feeling to need to solution. Hope you can hear it. That was problem to feeling to need to solution. And I'm just going to read you a little bit of the first box. I wrote this all out because a lot of times people have trouble identifying. You need to really identify each box to get to the final solution. And this can just happen in a minute, I'll tell you. It can be real quick. This is a real quick thing that a lot of people just print this out, put it on their refrigerator, and use it whenever they feel stuck. And they walk themselves through the process real quick. So it's sort of an instant self-coach method. So the first step is to identify the need or the problem. And I'm going to just read some of these and see if any of these resonate with you. See if you identify with any of these. Some problems that can be signs of unmet needs is it can be feelings or behaviors. So I'm going to read these, or negative beliefs even, such as withdrawal, loneliness, avoidance, depression, denial, aloofness, isolation, self-destructive thoughts, low self-esteem, shaming at activities such as intrusion, shaming, blaming, complaining, controlling, demanding, judging, nagging. Now sometimes it shows up in our business, but often in our closest relationships, right? It can show up at our careers at work too. And other signs of unmet needs could be addictive behavior, such as codependency, intimacy dysfunctions, perfectionism, procrastination, obsessive compulsive behaviors, and even physical illnesses or pains. Can be psychological. I am a body-mind therapist, and we use the body as a waking dream to identify what's going on in our psyche. Did you know that there's a psychological correlation with every single part of the body? Every part of your body has a psychological part, like the shoulders would be the burden, or the burden that we carry for ourselves. The pain in the neck can be, because there might be a pain in the neck in your life, right? Or a problem with TMJ or JAWS could be mentally chewing over things. A gut level feeling about things, or pain in the stomach, or I just can't swallow this, or I just can't digest this. There can be, every single part has a psychological correlation, so every illness does too. I believe as a body-mind therapist there's always some psychological correlation with every illness. And when we can identify, it can help the healing, can speed that healing faster. So that's why I put physical illness on that list, that could be a sign for us to pay attention to. Now the good news is that any of these dysfunctions are simply ways of trying to meet a need, but it's in an unhealthy way, like addictions or something. I think there's a healthy need under addiction. Often it's said that that's a searching for a divine connection. So when we listen to that and supply the real need underneath, that addiction can disappear real fast, or that problem or that behavior can disappear real fast. Dysfunctions were learned and can be unlearned or replaced with a better way, a way to meet that need in a healthy way. So when we bring compassion and acceptance, then we can be honest with ourselves about what we're feeling and needing. And you can write down right now, what's your biggest or most urgent need? And that's what we would take a look at first. The other steps of Real Conversation, if you want to jump ahead to those and don't want to wait, oh, thank you for the likes and loves. I appreciate that. Yes, you are still with me here. This is a lot of psychological stuff, isn't it? But it matters. This is the nuts and bolts of our lives, so thank you. Thank you for that. And if you're watching replay, I'd love if you type in that. And if you are finding value, I'd love if you hit share or tag friends too that might like to see this too. So once we have that, we've written down your greatest or most urgent need or want, and that comes with compassion and acceptance. Then you can walk yourself through those 4 steps. Okay, now that I've identified the problem, now what's my feeling underneath? I'll give you the 4 steps real quick, just in case you don't want to wait till next week. But each week I'm going to go into each step more in depth. So this is the first step, identifying the problem. Next week would be the identifying the feeling underneath it, which gives you a clue to the need under that. And then you can solve that problem or solve that need. So an example of that is if I am a network marketer procrastinating making my calls. The feeling might be fear, anxiety, guilt, frustration, could be any of a number of feelings. And that's on the chart too, because I wrote the feelings down under step number 2 to help people identify the feelings if they can't think of them themselves. So I wrote these all down. You can go through it and say, oh, that one, that one, that one. Yeah, I'm feeling frustrated or angry or shameful or fearful or whatever it is. And then we say, okay, well, what's the need under that? The need might be self-esteem. That's in the 3rd box. The needs. So you go through those till you find that what resonates with you. And the need might be self-esteem, to know that I am lovable and valuable, whether or not somebody says yes or no to me. So shoring up your self-esteem, like looking in a mirror and saying that, I am lovable and valuable, no matter what anyone says to me. When I make my calls, if you do this before you make your calls, it might alleviate any fear or stress or tension, because bingo, you put your finger right on the button of the thing that was needed, and you're meeting that need with bringing in self-esteem. The need might be the feeling might be a fear. Am I saying the right thing? So then the need would be skills, right, to learn how to do this from a mentor, upline, or coach. Like I do teach people this in case that you're not getting this from your upline. So getting the skills, then you have the confidence, and then you can go back out and say some simple duplicatable scripts that you can then teach your team that always get a yes. And I have a book about this too, how to always get a yes. So that's the book about the skills. I'll put that link in the comments too. So that's an example of one thing, not making the calls and leading yourself through that, which is a very common one in network marketing. It's a little different for each person. So your own individual adventure, and it could even change for you from day to day. You know, it might be a different block today, a different block tomorrow, but once you know the pattern, the method to lead yourself through this, no problem. So I will put the links for those. I would love if you type in any questions that you have right now. Anybody have a takeaway that you'd like to share with me? Anybody have a question of what we just talked about? Like, I don't get any of this. Or, how do you identify the need, or how do you solve the problem, or how do you get past this problem or this problem? I'd love if you write that in now, or if you're watching the replay, if you write that in, because we can keep the discussion going on after this. Okay? I'd love if you type in your favorite emoji so I know you're still with me here. Love to know where you're from as well. This is some kind of deep stuff, isn't it? Introspective stuff. But I love the adventure of knowing me and solving my problems. I feel quite good and confident and happy when I can master my own psychology enough to say, nothing's going to stop me today. And if I do run into a problem, I have the tools to solve the thing. It's like, man, I can get over it, and I can get over it quickly, with the self-coach method. So it's kind of magic. The secret is that under any problem is always an unmet need. So you uncover that, meet the need, bingo, you're good to go. Okay, then you can have a happy, fun, fulfilled life and all that. So I will put these links to these things in the comments, and I hope that this helps you in your life and in your business, and that you can go out, if you are a network marketer, that you can go out and help lots and lots of people and have a fulfilled life as a result, a happy, abundant, and fulfilled life, knowing that you have changed lives and contributed to the world. So that's what we're all about. Oh, I also like to invite you to a leadership class that Jeff Gamble and I teach right here on Facebook Live, on the Facebook group, MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We teach a leadership class all about personal growth, and it's really, really cool. People are loving it and jumping on and just attending it regularly every day. So do a little personal growth work every day. Have 30 to 60 minutes of personal growth work every day. And you can do that just by tuning in to our show. Then it's all done. And there's some really good, deep things there about becoming a better person, a better leader, a better sponsor in network marketing, a better parent, a better mate, a better person at work, on the job, in your community, in your neighborhood. It's all about elevating ourselves and improving ourselves and becoming happier, of course. So love to have you every noon, weekday, noon Eastern time. Just go to the Facebook group, MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. And of course, it's for all entrepreneurs and people, not just network marketers. But once you go there, request to be a member, because there you can get the replays and a free book to follow along and community support about leadership. So we would love to have you. It's a growing, happening, very fun thing. Private message me if you think that you would like some assistance working on any issues that might come up in your life. This is what I've done for 30 years as a body-mind therapist, to help people through this. This is why I'm here. This is my mission. This is my calling. So please feel free to private message me, and we can set up a talk and see how I might be able to help. We'll set up a free session to start. How's that? So remember, help is available for every single thing. There's a solution to every single problem. And you can do this. Whatever you're facing, whatever you need to change in your life, you can do it. Let's do it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.